Yes, I could just keep on going.
That's
I
very
love
good.
it.
That's an amazing thing too.
Yes,
About writing because
right.
if we really focus on it, we really can make some stuff happen.
Exactly. And once like one idea just leads into the next, and then sometimes I have to say, okay, let's bring it back a little bit,
There you go. There you
because you
go.
can just keep going.
Indeed. What I
Yes.
want you to do, I want you to take like about maybe a minute and a half, 90 seconds, and I want you to just go as though you're coming in live to a broadcast and it's only you on the air. And I
Okay.
want you to cover the subject matter of truth and free will.
Truth and free will. Okay.
So
Okay.
count backwards to five and start.
Count backwards to five.
Yeah, count backwards from five and start.
From 5.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you said free will and truth. Truth and free
Yes.
will.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Let's see
Truth
what you do.
Okay. Ready?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So what do you guys think about honesty, and is there a time and a place where you should be honest, or should you always be honest? Is it best to be honest about things, to not be honest about things just to protect people's feelings? Or what do you think? Are there limitations to being truthful? I mean, we all have choices. We are in charge of the choices that we make. And, I don't know anybody who doesn't say they don't like the truth, they don't appreciate the truth, but it's not as though everybody can handle it, everybody can't give it. They don't know how, they don't want to. So I think we should get into this topic and really figure out what makes sense about truth. What is truth actually? What is truth? Is it if you feel like saying the truth at that time, or is it just being honest and truthful no matter what? No matter what the consequences will be for you or for the other party? How serious is the truth? What does it do, or what doesn't it do? So me personally, I always been a truthful person. I feel like no matter what, you should always try to be that person. It's not going to be easy at all. And I've been in a lot of situations where I have to think about it really, really hard, because I already know what the circumstances may be from the truth. But sometimes you really have to just swallow your pride, because things will always be worse if you don't be truthful, if you're not honest about it. So for me, I prefer truth and honesty no matter how hard it is, and I've given it no matter how hard it is. And believe it or not, it was rough to get through. It was a rough patch, but in the end, everything was able to be smoothed out, because I took it upon myself to be truthful and honest about the situation. And all pain heals, so you just have to get to that point. So I always choose to go down that route, and some people choose not to, for protection reasons, or because they are afraid of the outcome. But you have to be honest. You really have to be honest. We all have that choice, and it's really best to take it. Don't try and protect anybody. Don't even try and protect yourself. Just go for it. Just say what you have to say, get it out, and don't wait. Don't wait. Do it as soon as the topic happens. So maybe give yourself a day, if even that long. Sometimes it's best to tackle things right when they happen. I think I've gone over, but I can keep going.
Indeed, indeed. That is positive because we really wanted to see how you actually confronted the listening audience and
Yeah.
if you were able to hold them captivated.
Yeah.
One of the,
And that was just like right on the spot, and stuff. You
indeed,
see, my brain just starts turning.
and that's the
It just
name of
keeps
the game.
going.
That's the name of the game. What I want you to do is put a little bit more emphasis into your enthusiasm,
Okay.
and I don't want you hesitating because honesty is a thing of continuity. It's a flow. And
Right.
that's what the people want to feel. They want to feel honesty, especially if you're
Exactly.
bringing them information that's supposed to be of assistance to them.
Right.
So I want you to definitely focus, but don't be so focused that it becomes a and a and type
Okay.
conversation.
Right. Right.
I want you to go back in. We're going to go back in now, but the
Mhm.
way that we're going to address the situation and the equation at this
Mhm.
juncture is we're going to take it to, because we came out of more so on a physical commitment.
Right.
So we're going to hit them from a spiritual aspect,
Okay.
and let's see how it's received.
Okay.
So count backwards from 3 and jump on them.
Okay. So the last time we spoke about honesty, we spoke more about what we should do as people. just in retrospect as human beings. But let's think about it more on a spiritual level. I mean, everybody doesn't think they're a spiritual person, but we all have it in us. We just have to be in tune with it. So, as you know, being honest is actually very, very important for your spiritual relationship, because if you are honest, if it starts there, everything else will flow. You don't have to second guess anything. You don't have to think about anything or try to make up a story for anything, because you are honestly being truthful. And if you think about it, spirituality is a lot deeper than people think it is. I think people are afraid of the word spiritual, and they think it automatically means that you are holy, and you think you're this person and things like that. But it's really about a relationship. It's as important as a relationship you have with your spouse or your sister, your mother. It's just about being in tune with your inner self. If you really are in tune with your inner self, being honest will be nothing. It's going to be second nature to you. But it's really important. You wouldn't have to think about what to say or what to do or how to handle a situation, because you're in tune with your inner self. So you're already going into it saying, okay, no matter what the situation is, I'm going to be honest, because that's me. I'm in tune with my inner self, and I know I will get good karma for that. You don't have to worry about anything bad happening. Might be a little pain, but you'll get over it, and it will happen, and good things will come back to you. But it's really, really important to be in tune with your spiritual self.
Wow. Now, one thing that you closed the much better on that note right there.
Great.
One thing is so important is your opening. I don't want you to come out dry onto your folks. I want them to look forward to your greeting.
Okay.
You have to bring a lot of enthusiasm and a lot of flattery when you open up to them. So the energy level has to be high.
Be high, right.
And then this way their expectations of what's to come is going to keep them and keep their ears glued to the radio. Or if it's television, it's going to keep their eyes and ears glued to the tube.
Okay.
So, and your clothes. You did wonderful on that one right there. I just want you to work on that a little bit more.
Okay.
Because you can definitely do that. Your clothes is pretty tight.
Thank you.
Okay, and your presentation, your body is good.
Thank you.
I don't want too many breaks in between. Like, it's okay to breathe, but you ever heard this saying, never let them see you sweat?
Yes.
Well, in radio, it's never let them hear you breathe.
Right.
Right? So it's a matter that it should just be constant continuity. And like I'm looking at the levels, it's just like if you're in a music studio.
Right.
I'm looking at the levels, and we have a lot of breaks in there. So we don't want those breaks in there. That means that you're either thinking too much about what you're going to say, or either you're just taking too many breaths. I know you were just rushing to get off that bus and all of that right there, but under any circumstances, we have to have the control.
Okay.
Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to tackle the same equation, truth and free will, from a mental aspect. We talked about the spiritual relationship and how it may relate or reflect on our spiritual relationship, depending upon how we deal with the true factor. Because it's peace that it brings to the spiritual element of any relationship or dealings. And we talked about it from the physical standpoint as far as relationships, how it may bring hurt, but the harm is temporary if the truth is brought forth in the first place, because now you have time to heal or to deal with the facts that you're faced with.
Right.
So from a emotional or mental standpoint, I want to see how you handle that.
Okay.
So we're going to give you, we'll give you 5 minutes to count backwards, get it together, and hit them hard.
Okay. Hey guys, welcome back. So we're still going to touch on to this truth topic. We hit two keynotes on the head, but another one that's really, really important is your viewpoint, your mental viewpoint. You have to take everything into consideration. It's not all about spiritual, it's not all physical, it's not all mental. Every aspect, think of all your senses, they all have to work together to get somewhere. So now let's talk about that, because being that we have different senses, different things that have to come together to help us make decisions, there are people who are on one level spiritually, another level mentally, another physically, meaning they might be good in the physical sense, maybe okay in the mental sense, and maybe all over the place in the spiritual sense. So it doesn't work together as one. And that happens to a lot of people. It's very common and unfortunate. So maybe you have a really, really good spiritual relationship and you're pretty good physical, but mentally you might be haywire. So that you have to take that into consideration. So let's piggyback a little bit on what we spoke about on the spiritual aspect. Like we said, if you are in tune with yourself, you're good, automatically you are going to be honest about a situation. And maybe that's what other people think about you because they know that you're a spiritual person. However, you might be going through something mentally that kind of triggers that. And you have a little voice in the back of your head that's telling you, spiritually, this is who you are, this is how you're going to handle it. But whatever's going on mentally and emotionally, it's actually going to stop you from that. It's going to turn what people expect and what you expect. How do you know how you are going to handle the situation? You actually might do something totally opposite. And that's dangerous. It's actually really dangerous. And that is actually why, if you think about it, that's why a lot of people that we look up to, you might look at them as an idol or somebody, quote unquote holy, because nobody is. And we hear that they do something out of this realm. It's just like, how did they even get there? That's that person. That's not the person I see them as. That's not the person they represent to me. But that's because mentally they're somewhere else. So you really have to be honest with yourself in all aspects. You even have to be honest and say, okay, maybe I'm a little something mentally is not completely connected. That's causing my spiritual and my physical not to connect with it. So you really have to be honest. And remember, everything starts in your head. That little voice that you keep hearing and the things that you say to yourself are really important. They make a huge difference. If you think about it, if you tell yourself, you wake up, I'm going to have a bad day. I'm already having a bad day because I'm 30 minutes late for work. The rest of your day, 9 times out of 10, is going to end up really bad. But if you wake up 30 minutes late, but maybe the sun is out and that helps you say, I'm still going to have a good day anyway. I might get written up, but the day will go on and I'll be fine. 9 times out of 10, that's how the day is going to go. So if you are in tune with yourself, but mentally you're still telling yourself this is going to go wrong, it really is. Or I can't handle the truth, because of whatever reason. It might happen. Words are really powerful. And what you think is going to come out, even if you don't say it.
Okay, this is what we're going to do. I didn't like that close too much, but I liked everything else.
Okay.
What we're going to do now, I'm going to come at you from a standpoint of it's going to be a Q&A. You're opening up the floor for questions.
Okay.
But you're going to actually be the one that, open up and then give the floor to the listening audience or viewing audience to ask you questions. I want to ask you some questions regarding the spiritual, mental, and physical aspects of truth and free will, and see how you answer the questions in regards to what you originally stated.
Okay.
Okay, so count backwards to 3 and open up and then give the floor to Q&A.
Okay. All right, guys, now that we have touched on every really, really important aspect of truth and all of the things that connect with it within yourself, I'd like to open the floor for Q&A. I'm really excited to hear what everybody thinks. Everyone's viewpoint, everyone is so different. Okay, so let's open it up. Who's first with a question?
Yeah, I have a question. You made a very profound statement that everything is basically starts in the head. So that means I take it that you mean mentally, that if you can come from a mental standpoint, then most of the time you're able to handle whatever. Is that what you meant?
Yes, correct. That is right. A lot of people, it's really hard for a lot of people. Everyone goes through something different, but if you take into consideration that the day has to go on, you really have to move forward, and you're able to tell yourself that, you will believe that. If you think about it, other things that you have gone through, once you say it out loud, it usually comes to pass. It usually comes to pass, and it's really not. It's kind of like a mind game, but it's not. It's a positive mind game. It can be a negative sometimes, but if you just try, if something's going wrong, just tell yourself, okay, this happened, but I'm going to move forward, and you still something's going to turn around. And you will notice that it 9 times out of 10 it will. Words are really powerful.
You know, a lot of people that I talk to, especially those people that call themselves true believers, actually believe that. They believe that if something is coming at them in a negative aspect, and if they can dismiss this thing as being totally unrealistic, that they can turn the tide and turn their day or moments or hours from a negative start into a positive finish.
Right.
Is that true? I mean, as far as you see it?
You know what? For me personally, it's
Hmm.
true for me. But I cannot. Everybody does not have the same viewpoints on things, so it's really hard to push. You don't want to push things on people. I have my own things, and other people have, their own thing going on. But I would say it's true for everybody. The things that you say and the things you believe are very strong. They'll come to pass. If you just look at what's going on in the world, there's a lot of things are happening, and once they diagnose the person, they end up saying there was a mental issue. Something it's in the head. Everything starts in the head. And it's not to say that something really bad happens. You speak it and then, that disappears. But you will put your mind at ease, even if the thing doesn't turn around and make something more positive. You'll put your mind at ease for the rest of the day where you pretty much come into peace with whatever's going on by saying it or thinking it.
And pretty much, if you have that peace or you have that tranquility, then
Right.
you can more or less adjust from there and accomplish basically anything rather than having all that confusion attached to you.
Exactly. It's pretty much like, say, if you were sitting down with a therapist or something, if they are talking to you and talking you through your problems, you feel a lot better because you have someone saying something to you and it's in your head. Now you're thinking about it. It's the same thing if you do it to yourself. Talk to yourself. It's really healthy.
Yeah, a lot of people say talking to yourself is not good, especially nowadays since everything is has been escalated to make you think good is bad and bad is good.
Right.
That they have set out to confuse people. But talking to yourself has always been healthy. I mean, as long as you don't do it in the negative.
Exactly. Yeah, that's the difference. Just and I think personally, some people are comfortable doing it out loud, but I think doing things on your own time, quiet in your own space, that's the best way because you're in a closed space. Nothing is around you to influence anything else, and you're just talking to yourself, talking to who you believe in, and you will feel much better, much much better.
So what I gather from most of what you said is tranquility being a key component and issue towards success. Because here, I know at the station, you guys push success. So
Right.
the thing is, I guess that tranquility is a big part of that. But I keep hearing you saying peace and calm, and just dismiss the negative, even if you're not pushing for something so much that you will be better with a peace of mind.
Yes, that's very
Mm.
true. It's true, and it's like I said before, it's hard to focus on that all of the time as you're in the heat of the moment,
Mhm.
whatever's going on, and everybody handles situations differently. So take the time that you need to cool down or bring yourself down from whatever's going on, and then just get back to the main point that everything is going to be okay. You have to have peace of mind because there are a lot of people who drive themselves crazy because they keep everything in, all of the negative, and they don't talk to themselves or they don't talk to people. Just to talk, having a conversation is really healthy. It's really important. That's why it's really not good to keep things in at all. You have to get it out, and that even means just talking to yourself, not even only talking to somebody else. Talk to yourself helps. Speaking to yourself helps to get things out. You're just sitting there in your own space and you're pulling out whatever's going on and reminding yourself that you have to have peace of mind. It does start there.
So,
Definitely starts with
so
your
I
mind.
take it, I gather that it's a form of focusing to
Yeah.
actually contemplate on truth. And what about that other word? You kept mentioning it. What was it called? Free will. I didn't hear you speak
Right.
too much about that. What is that? Is that a part of truth?
Yeah, so I didn't speak too much, just saying the actual word. I know I tied it in, definitely, because the two, to me personally, the two go, it's up to you. You have free will to tell the truth or to be honest with yourself or to have a spiritual connection. All of those things are completely up to you. You know, nobody can tell you what to do. They can tell you what's right, but it's up to you if you're gonna listen or not. So that's where the free will ties into all of this. You know, it's up to you. It's really good to hear from other people and to get other people's take on things and see what their experiences are like and how it's helped them or how it didn't help them. But at the end of the day, how you receive people's message is totally up to you. You know, if you are, you know, mentally, if you're not there, you're not going to grab what someone else is telling you. It's going to have no use to you. But that is also everything's up to you. Yes.
All right, my dear, you actually covered the bases. Your comebacks was on time. They were on point. It didn't stump you, and I know I hit you with a couple tough ones.
Yeah.
So that right there is that's really positive. That's really good luck. I actually believe that you're going to do well in radio, and I believe that we're going to take you to the next level of that so that we can start focusing on earnings in a rapid amount of time.
Very excited. This is different for me. When I was in school, you know, I was in journalism and communications. They are in the same major, so I had to take classes under communications. But I never got involved with the radio, and a lot of people in my field did, and it was amazing. And I don't know why I just never took the initiative to do it. You know, they had a radio station for the school. It would come on certain time every day. It was awesome, and I never took the initiative.
You know,
I was more into reporting, and I mean, you know, that's still talking, but that was more me. Talking and asking questions. I like doing that.
One of my top proteges, he came into the station, and I started him in television.
Wow.
And he was in communications and media. And this kid took over the radio station in his college.
Look at that.
Yeah, but this kid could imitate me to the max. I mean, I used to just sit back and watch him, you know, and say, go ahead, and he would go ahead and do it word for word. I said, I didn't know you was watching me that closely. But he was amazing,
wow.
and he's still doing his thing. And I think I'm going to probably get him onto ESPN.
Really?
Yeah, I think that
awesome.
would be a good asset for him and a good reward. He just got his bachelor's, graduated with his bachelor's.
Good for him.
But those are the things that, you know, is open up to folks.
Right.
You know, it's a matter of progression, and it's a matter of power.
Right, exactly.
You know, and that's what we have to put forth. We have to they say put forth your best foot. But putting that best foot actually means generating your energy properly.
Exactly.
And if we generate our energy properly, there is nothing in the host of heaven or earth that will stand between us.
Right.
You know, and if it does attempt to stand between us, that means it's of Satan, and we will smash it out. Because anytime a positive electron and a negative electron meet, that positive smashes it out.
Right, exactly.
So we have to stay focused on that right here.
Yes, see, it's in the mind.
Indeed.
All of that.
Indeed. What we're going to do, we're going to start you off with mini radio, 15-minute radio segments.
Okay.
And the way that we're going to actually work this is I'm going to give you, I'll probably introduce you, and then I'll give you, the first, say, 5 to 7 minutes, depending upon how hot you are out there. Okay. And let you just talk and rattle and make it do what it do.
Okay.
So you should have, some bullet points of, key things that just keep your memory jarred to bring in about a positive presentation.
Okay. So just, you want me to pick something like to talk about?
Yeah, usually 9 times out of 10, once we do a few more of these promos, then you'll have the topic of the week, because our topic of the week on the television is our topic of the week on the radio.
Okay.
And sometimes it works vice versa. Because I believe that within 2 weeks, depending upon how many times we go on the radio a week, you'll be ready to make a television presentation.
Okay.
You know?
Sounds amazing.
So what I want you to do, and please have it in my inbox by, say, 9 in the morning, no later than 9.
Okay.
I want you to create a topic. I want to see some of the bullet points and highlights of what you're going to actually address.
Okay.
And we're going to actually do an official taping tomorrow, 15 minutes sharp, 15 minutes intact. I'm not going to be doing the breaks and saying, okay, now we're going to do this, now we're going to do this. It's
Right.
just going to be, you know that you're going to come and you're going to do that. I'm going to introduce you,
Okay.
and then you're going to do your 5 to 7 minute presentation, and then it's going to be a discussion, more so than Q&A. Like you'll say something, I'll say something. Usually
Okay.
focus on if you have an associate commentator on with you, whether it's television or radio. And
Right.
there's people that's been with me for a while that still haven't gathered this concept yet. But then
Right.
I don't take them when we go to speak, say at the Senate or somewhere like that, because those times are actually selected, and they're actually counted. You know
Oh,
you
okay.
have 15 seconds or you have
Right,
30
right.
seconds to address whatever.
Makes sense.
And your point has to come across, because they're not going to even call on you again unless you are making sense
Exactly.
in that short period of time,
Right.
which in all reality, it's a lot of time.
Yeah. It is. It sounds like nothing, but you can really get a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When you stand back and you look at the clock and you say 15,
Right.
14, 13, and you say, wow, I could have said way more than I said in that amount of time
Exactly.
if I was
Exactly.
focused and to the point. You
Right.
got to always consider, like, when a person's fighting, sometimes a person, like, say, Thomas the Hitman Hearn, he had a strong jab. His jab could get you in trouble. But
Right.
then some people come out there and they pitter-patter with their jab just enough to keep the person off balance so they can set them up for the Lord of Boom, the right hand. But
Right.
the thing is that if you come out there and you hitting hard with your left, you may not even need to use your right. But when you do, if that right drops, it's like a hammer. It's not a hammer, it's a sledgehammer,
Exactly.
right? So that's the way I want you to attack this hosting thing.
Okay.
Always hitting them hard, even if you're smiling, laughing, or if you're a firm face, you're still hitting them hard.
Okay.
And this way, everybody will call on you and they'll say, I want to hear more from that young lady right there.
Okay.
And-
And do you want me to focus? Is there a realm of topics that you want me to choose from, or?
To be honest with you, I know you like to do like the trending things as far as fashion and stuff like that.
Mhm.
I have a segment on the television that is actually open right now, and it's called Entertainers Roundtable. Well, not Entertainers Roundtable, that's the actual panel. It's called JCT Entertainment's News.
Okay.
And some folks was excited. They're excited about it, but everybody is usually nervous when that camera's right there on their face and it's just them.
Right.
But
Exactly.
the thing is that if you create the commentary, you can relate to it more. And if you find the things that you like to talk about, if you like fashion, if you like cosmetology, if you like trendy, what's trending right now, what's popping, what's hot in the industry, right?
Right.
Then if you find those type of topics and you lay them out and they put it on the teleprompter, then the thing is, that's just there to really jar your memory. You know,
Right.
say you have 3 minutes to do your whole segment.
Mhm.
Then you bring in pizzazz, sassiness, you bring in all of that thing that makes people say, dang, it's over?
Right. Right.
You understand? And then it's something, you get out of a thing what you put in it. So
Exactly.
if you're in the mirror, say, X amount of time a day, that you spend practicing that 3 minutes. I tell folks this all the time, and they think that they can just write it out and come up there and it's going to be hot.
Right.
This is not, once you get on the set, this is not the time or place for practice.
Right.
Practice
Exactly.
should have been done many times between 1 week to the next or one day to the
Exactly.
next, depending on how often you're there. So
Right.
that to make sure that your game is tight and you're confident in what you're going to do.
Right. Right.
You know,
Exactly.
when the professional basketball player, when Curry gets out there and he shoot that three from deep, he know it's going because he done that shot like 1,000 times the day before.
Exactly. Exactly.
So that's the same spirit we have to take into this right here. When you're doing anything, you have to sleep, eat, and drink that thing.
Okay.
And that's how you become successful at it.
Right.
It has to be second nature.
Does.
And a little fruit butterflies don't hurt, but the
Right.
thing is, you use them for positive in it.
Exactly.
You know, that's what Muhammad Ali said. He said, every time I went into the ring, I was nervous. But the thing is that I believed that I was the greatest guy. I told myself that so many times.
Right.
And I knew I just had to win after saying something like that. I had to back it up.
Exactly. Exactly. See, said it. He told himself, and
Indeed.
that
So,
was that.
like you said, affirmation, positive affirmation is definitely a plus.
Right, exactly.
So, with that being said, my dear, I want you to get to work on tomorrow's
Okay.
topic. We're going to rock early tomorrow. What's your schedule like around 5?
What time tomorrow?
Yeah, 5 or 5 p.m. What's 5 like for you?
I think it's open.
Okay, fantastic.
Yeah, something I had to do got moved, so I believe that will be open.
Outstanding.
Yes.
So we're going to jump on the radio tomorrow at 5 and shoot this live show.
Okay.
And I'll be probably striking out at you during the course of the day to make sure that everything's in place.
Okay, great. But I'm going to go home now and work on my little bullet points.
Okay.
So do you want me to not touch on fashion?
No, you can touch on anything you want to touch on.
Okay. Okay.
Because I want you to be confident. I want to find you a real comfort spot so that we can escalate from there.
Okay, great. I can do that. So would it be, do you want me to speak about like the fashion topic I sent you?
Yeah, you can actually.
I can do that.
You can actually rock with that.
Okay. But I'll write out something and still, write out the bullet points and stuff. Because that'll help.
Yeah, because I want to see that and see where your head is as far as preparation.
Right, okay. That works. I do that.
So, all right, my dear, I believe that you're going to be a positive asset not only to us, but to the planet. And I look forward to seeing you develop into the flower I see.
Thank you so much. I so appreciate that. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, my dear. So we'll speak mañana, and I'll look to see that presentation as soon as possible.
Okay, yes, sweet.
You tonight.
Thank you.